India-Sri Lanka Economic Pact by 2016 end. Statement by the Prime Minister at the Indian Economic Summit. Estate workers continue their strike action demanding for a wage increase. Opposition alleges that 2 MPs attempted to conceal the Auditor General's report on the bond scam. Maligattanna Primary School in Valimada receives a new building under the Gammadda 100 Days initiative.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Sandru Ferdinando.
And I'm Basni Atada. Let's start off with a look at tonight's top story. The renovation work to the Minipe Dam commenced today under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena.
The project commenced at the left bank of the Minipe Canal in the Hasalaka village. President Maithripala Sirisena removed the first lump of earth to mark the commencement of this project. The project is to conclude in 4 years, while 15,000 farming families will be benefited by it at its conclusion. The estimated cost for the project is 2,600 million rupees. The project will be carried out with the aid provided by the Asian Development Bank. President Maithripala Sirisena, addressing the event, stated that a special program will be implemented to provide land deeds to the farmers in Minipe.
As a farmer, my father came to Polonnaruwa in 1949. Back then, the late D.S. Anayaka provided land in an agrarian settlement for the retired military persons and ex-servicemen who served in the Second World War. The agrarian culture, the agrarian settlement civilizations are projects that made a revolution in this country's economy, culture and civilization.
Come back to the news. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is currently in New Delhi, made an important announcement at the opening plenary of the Indian Economic Summit 2016.
We are also liberalizing the tariff and the non-tariff barriers that have denied our enterprises the opportunity of getting access to the latest technology and know-how and deprived our consumers of the best quality of goods and services. We are also taking measures to see a rapid improvement of the ease of doing business by the early part of 2018. Small domestic markets are insufficient to sustain growth. Therefore, shift to greater export orientation is required to achieve a growth of 8%. Hence, our trade policies will focus on gaining access to these markets. The tripartite arrangement.
The Prime Minister made note of the proposed Economic and Technology Cooperation Agreement.
The India-Sri Lanka FTA between the two countries will be further expanded and deepened to go beyond trading goods to cover trade in services, investments and technology cooperation. The proposed Economic and Technology Cooperation Agreement will be signed by the end of this year. Prime Minister Modi and I decided we must conclude it by end of this year. The ETCA offers a strategic economic advantage to our country and the fastest growing southern Indian states. These 5 southern states, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Telangana have a population of 250 million people and a combined GDP of nearly US 450 billion. With the addition of Sri Lanka's 22 million and the US 80 billion economy, the GDP in this sub-region will be US 500 billion. That is Sweden. This is without getting together. Just imagine if we work together. ECTA has the potential to promote a rapid growth of US 500 billion sub-regional economy.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday called on Indian President Pranab Mukherjee for bilateral talks. The Prime Minister extended an invitation from President Maithripala Sirisena to the Indian President to undertake a visit to Sri Lanka. The Indian President, who said he was pleased over the invitation extended by President Sirisena, also noted that he respects President Sirisena for the invitation.
The joint opposition convened a media briefing today.
President Maithripala Sirisena says that when he called to impose a tax on tobacco, the cabinet did not do so. He wants to impose a tax on tobacco. but they only increased it by 6 rupees. That is why we call on him to let go of the UNP and remove the Prime Minister and create a Sri Lanka Freedom Party government. We have 95 members and they have 106 members. If we create a government, we can enforce his policies.
Now, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa was questioned by media personnel on the joint opposition's Ratnapura meeting.
For some it is just another meeting, for others it is something special. Yes, I will be involved, but I will not be leading that.
ගොඩක් තියෙන එක යුද්ධයයි තියෙන්නේ.
දැන් මේ යුද්ධයට යන ගමනේ තියෙන පොඩි පොඩි සටන් තමයි රත්නපුරේ තියෙන්නේ ඔබතුමා කියන විදිහට.
නෑ නෑ ඒක ලොකු සටන හැම සටනක්ම වැදගත්.
යුද්ධයට තව සෑහෙන කාලයක් තියෙනවා.
නෑ යුද්ධය මහින්ද ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඉවර කරන්නේ ඉක්මනින්ම. ආණ්ඩු බලය. ඔබතුමා අදහස් කරපු දේම තමයි මමත් අදහස් කරන්නේ.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party today responded to the joint opposition's preparations for a meeting in Ratnapura.
We do not want to see the Sri Lanka Freedom Party be split and another party being formed. The people of Ratnapura also share the same view. Recently, Pavitra Vanyarachi noted that the request to obtain the Sivali grounds in Ratnapura for a meeting on the 8th was turned down and they were given a lorry park instead. My daughter-in-law is lying. I have the letter which they sent to the Commissioner of the Ratnapura Municipal Council. It was sent by Tiron Athanayaka. The headline says that they want to reserve the old lorry park. They send another letter requesting for the Sivali grounds because large crowds will attend the meeting. The Commissioner has permitted that as well.
The opposition today alleged that there is an attempt being made by two government MPs to prevent the Auditor General report on the central bank bond transaction being tabled in Parliament.
Bond transactions at the central bank has come under the spotlight once again, with Perpetual Treasuries, a company owned by the son-in-law of Arjun Mahendra, the former governor of the central bank, earning an unusual profit for the year 2015.
The entire ambit of finance in this country is under the hands of the Prime Minister. Several ministries, when you see the network, how they have been connected, they are all connected to the Prime Ministerial Office. The responsibility of resolving this issue and attending to this matter falls squarely on the Prime Minister, because the central bank is coming under him. Whereas if you recall the various events that were involved in this incident, you know, there are very many strange things that have happened. Rather, I mean, hilarious, I should say, things that have happened. But now the time has come for not to ponder on those matters. Here is a situation where statistically proven details are available to the country of a huge misappropriation or misapplication of rights and principles. Here is a company that has made money on speculative grounds using the public money.
What are the trade unions doing? Where are the protests? Is the public not so concerned?
Unfortunately, the lead should be taken by the banking sector trade unions. But I want to tell you one thing. The banking sector trade unions are connected to some internationals, you know, where they have a membership in 90 odd countries, running up to 9 million. So I think those segments and sectors have been alerted. The authorities in the country who are trying to suppress this must keep in mind that this cannot be kept as a secret from the global scenario.
Absolutely.
The Auditor General has provided a report on the central bank bond transactions. It clearly notes of a loss of 1.6 billion in addition to another loss of 889 million and 784 million rupees. The report also notes that the governor of the central bank has not acted in a manner that is suitable for a governor over this matter. Is there any provision to file a case against this or for the Attorney General to inquire into this matter? The joint opposition calls for this report to be tabled in Parliament for a debate. As we are aware, there are 2 MPs who are against the report being tabled in Parliament. No one can challenge the report of the Auditor General. That is a right given to the Auditor General through the Constitution. The Prime Minister is protecting him. He told that he will not accept any position until proven innocent. The person who made the statement has been appointed by the Prime Minister to the unit to provide 1 million jobs in the country. What the Prime Minister says is not accepted by the country. This is a good opportunity for COPE. After the JVP was given the chair, we can see whether the government is carrying out a whitewash. Rumours go on to say that this is being done to fund the elections. I'm not trying to justify this because it is the first time it took place. It took place not only twice but thrice. And yet we can see that there is a political need to sweep this under the carpet. We need to question Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe as to why he has appointed a governor of the central bank with allegations against him to post of advisor. The UNP spokesperson must be questioned on the bane and boon of the party. A presidential commission and an investigative committee must be appointed. Then we have the chairman of COPE, Sunil Handunetti, as well. Certain actions of the former governor of the central bank are being probed. COPE must also probe as to how his private company earned such an unusual profit.
Shamila Nishanti did not arrive at the Newsfirst head office today empty-handed.
She extended her arms in support to the Gammadda 100-day initiative and became a part of solving the issues of the people of this country.
The Gammadda 100 Days Initiative. At a time when the Gammadda 100 Days Initiative is moving forward, is being strengthened by the Samaritans of this country who have stepped forward to join with this initiative. Shamila Nishanti visited us today together with a package of books that would enhance the knowledge of school children. With the support of people with warm hearts, we were able to commence renovating the Maligathanna Primary School in Velimada under the Gammadda 100 Days Initiative. The school, which is located 17 kilometers away from the Bandarawila town, lacks a number of basic needs. When the rich and able travel to the town for their academic activities, these students are from families that engage in a daily struggle for survival, visit this school for their studies.
Once this project is complete, I will do my best to provide these school children with their educational needs. The officials from Sirasa who arrived here will be blessed for solving the issues of these children. They will be blessed for organizing this project and for enforcing it.
Neurology specialist Dr. Deepal Athanayaka and Mrs. Athanayaka, who is a medical attendant by profession, joined hands with the Gammadda 100 Days Initiative.
The parents of these children provide us with the rice we eat. They contribute to make the nation healthy. Even though there are a number of issues in the country, and even though we cannot solve them all at once, as citizens of the country, we are thankful to your organization for organizing such a beneficial project.
Majority of the time, when people elevate to high positions, they forget the people who are below them. But our doctor remembers his roots. This is not a mere project. This is a blessing.
The foundation stone was laid today for the two-story building of the Ikra Primary School in Hambantota under the Lanka Hondama project.
The event was held under the auspices of Minister Sajith Premadasa in line with Teachers' Day, where housing loans were also granted to teachers of the Hambantota district. The minister also recognized the student who obtained the highest marks in the Tamil medium, as well as a number of other high achievers of the grade 5 scholarships in the Hambantota district. I would like to ask Vimal Veeravansa and Bandung Nawardena, is it not a great initiative undertaken by the Langama Pasala, Hondama Pasala to make the closest school the best school? They shut down many schools in remote areas during the previous regime. When that was the state of education at that time, we decided to allocate a majority of the country's gross domestic product towards improving the standard of education in the country. So I would like to ask from Vimal Veeravansa, when the current government is allocating 22.6 million rupees on this building, was it not during your government that such investments were made, but only to construct swimming pools and palaces for the former leader?
Sujiva Senasinghe, the State Minister of International Trade, made an announcement on the World Export Development Forum.
We hope
this forum will be a success. The government will not be spending a lot on this. We hope to gather funds from the private sector and the other sectors for this initiative. We discussed with China on the development of the Mattala Airport, the Hambantota port and the surrounding areas. We hope to convert 15,000 acres in that area into an industrial zone. Sri Lanka and China together with the private sector will create a separate company to create great industries and products in this country. China has agreed to develop the Mattala Airport and the Hambantota port. This is a strength to us. We are suffering a loss of 925 million rupees after spending billions for the Hambantota port. We got China to agree on this via dialogue. A massive loan was obtained from China at a high interest rate of 6.9% to 7%. If we get an opportunity to reduce this via dialogue, we can get China to develop the Mattala Airport and the Hambantota port without any loan. We can develop the surrounding areas as an industrial zone and enhance our productions.
Industrial zone
The appropriation bill for the financial year 2017 will be presented before Parliament on the 20th of this month. A special parliamentary sitting will be done on the 20th for this purpose. The budget will be presented to Parliament on the 10th of November and the debate will continue until the 10th of December.
Meanwhile, politicians using Sri Lanka Air Force aircraft for visit during the 15th of January 2015 to the 30th of April 2016 was discussed in Parliament today.
Here are the politicians, government officials and other institutions who were provided with Sri Lanka Air Force aircrafts without making any payment. You have the right to ask questions in Parliament and he is trying to answer the question. I will not tolerate foul language in Parliament. Let us move forward respectfully.
So you reply now.
Can I provide an answer to this? No, the answer will be given. Do not move away from the question. Mr. Speaker, this should be tabled. I did not go to speak to him. I have more questions to ask. I need the answers.
Let me go ahead with the Parliament.
MP Buddhika Pathiran raised a question on loss-making public enterprises in Parliament today.
Honourable Speaker, I have raised this question 3 times already. I will raise it again. Certain issues have cropped up when providing information to certain officials. There's a document that shows that there are 12 government institutions that have suffered losses in 2014. As far as I know from the Auditor General's department, reports have emerged that 77 institutions have suffered losses in 2014. Therefore, I cannot accept these 12 institutions. I think that there are 77 such institutions. When expecting oral answers and when there is an oversight committee, when independent commissions are established, certain officials act in a lethargic manner in relation to parliamentary activities. Answers are never provided. There is an office junta. We established independent commissions for efficiency and good governance. However, in the end, the officers are evading these. This needs to be solved. Minister, please pay attention. The minister had accepted there are shortcomings. Likewise, I request that all information be sent to our committee.
Estate workers continue their strike action, urging their daily wages be increased to 1,000 rupees.
The estate workers of the Norwood in Hatton engaged in a protest in this manner, blocking the roads that lead up to Samamale and Muskelia from Bogavantalawa. The protest that was held in Nuwara disrupted the day-to-day activities in the area. Estate workers of 12 estates engaged in a protest in the Merivilla area in Dolosbage in Gampula, blocking the Gampula, Dolosbage and Navalapitiya roads. The protesters had caused damage to the factories after pelting stones at them. Another protest took place at the Avisavella town, hampering vehicular movement along the Kegol-Colombo main road. Is there a protest like that today? I checked this morning. We received reports that the estate workers had reported to work. Then I think they must have not received the message. All the trade unions have agreed. Only Thondaman was dragging this. But Thondaman agreed to this yesterday. This is a joint agreement. This was not agreed in March 2015. Yet one trade union agreed to the 1,000 rupee promise during the elections. We as a government have never said that 1,000 rupees will be provided. Those who made promises are on one side. We agree that there is no company that can provide a daily wage of 1,000 rupees. The tea economy has collapsed. This is not a domestic issue but a global issue. The wages of the estate workers increase once in every 2 years based on an agreement reached by the estate trade unions and the estate owners. However, such an agreement was reached last year. The Ceylon National Estate Workers Union says that this was because certain trade unions were against this move. There are many actors and many lies are being said. They say 100 lies to cover up one lie. For a year and 7 months they have been deceiving the people, saying that they will be given 1,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees. The estate people have been deceived. That is how they want to take votes. They need to be held accountable. We too are in favor of providing 1,500 rupees, 2,000 rupees or even 2,500 rupees. There needs to be some reality in this. We have two issues. We need to protect the industry and also protect the wages of the people. We need to do both. Yesterday, Minister W.D.J. Seneviratne presided over a discussion to increase the wages of the estate workers. The meeting, attended by representatives of trade unions and owners, saw an agreement reached to increase the wage to 730 rupees inclusive of benefits. However, Sunil Pohliyadda, the head of the Owners Association, noted that such an agreement was not reached.
A 670-kilometer walk from Point Pedro in Jaffna to Dondra Head in Mathura commenced today with the aim of raising funds to expand the oncology unit at the Karapitia Hospital in Galle.
A sequel to the 2011 Trail Sri Lanka. The same walk in the opposite direction that raised funds for the construction of the Trail Telepale Cancer Hospital in Jaffna. This year's walk will span 28 days, covering 28 townships from Jaffna to Mathura, with a host of celebrities joining the walk. Brand ambassadors Kumar Sangakkara and Mahalaja Vardhana were among those present for the inauguration today. The walk will travel across 9 zones during the 28 days and will end on the 2nd of November at the Dondra Lighthouse.
An event themed Day of German Unity was held in Colombo yesterday.
Several dignitaries, including Minister of Skills Development and Vocational Training Mahinda Samalasinghe, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Harsha De Silva, and Minister of Local Government and Provincial Councils Faisal Mustafa were present at the event.
We have presently a German delegation here touring Sri Lanka from the east, from the German Asia-Pacific Association, and we also launched a vocational training network yesterday. We recently opened a second center in Kilinochchi. Also, Sri Lanka is affected by climate change. We are happy that Sri Lanka, like the EU, that the Parliament approved the Climate Pact of Paris. The EU has signed it. And you have disasters. Sometimes in some areas you have a drought. In May you had the opposite, rainfalls. Germany supported that with relief. And I think it's very important that we combat climate change and try to mitigate it.
Germany is the second highest source of tourism to Sri Lanka from Europe. Germany has been one of Sri Lanka's principal bilateral development partners since the late 1950s. The federal government of Germany has reaffirmed its support for Sri Lanka's three-pillar approach to strengthening democracy, achieving meaningful reconciliation, and fostering inclusive economic development. The government of Sri Lanka has taken several initiatives by engaging with diaspora and follows a policy of welcoming home Sri Lankans of different communities to engage in the national integration and development programs.
The United Nations Security Council unanimously nominated former Portuguese Prime Minister António Guterres to be the next Secretary General, recommending that the 193-member General Assembly appoint him for 5 years from the 1st of January 2017.
The General Assembly is likely to meet next week to approve the appointments of Guterres. And with that, we wrap up Primetime News. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Sandaru Ferdinando.
And I'm Dasnia Fava. Have a very good night.